All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are going to unpack a question that, honestly, is at the very core of being human. What does it really take to make a lasting change in our lives? Let's figure it out. I mean, really think about it for a second. You see these people who just completely turn their lives around, their health, their career, you name it. And then there are the rest of us, right? Maybe you feel like you're just stuck on a treadmill, repeating the same old patterns year after year. So what's the real difference?
Yeah, if that one stings a little bit, you are definitely not alone. We've all been there. The New Year's resolution that's forgotten by February. The promise to yourself that this time would be the one, only to end up right back where you started. It's just so frustrating.
But here's an idea. What if the problem isn't your willpower? What if it's never been about a lack of discipline? What if the real issue is the approach you've been using this whole time? And that right there is the key insight. So many of us have been fighting this battle on completely the wrong territory. We're trying to force change from the outside in, when the real secret has always been an inside job. To really get this, we need to look at the basic operating system that's running in the background of our lives. I like to call it the unbreakable human chain. And trust me, once you see it, you can never unsee it. It all boils down to this really simple three-part chain. See, it always starts with our thoughts. Those thoughts then directly lead to our actions. And finally, our actions are what produce our feelings. Thoughts lead to actions, which lead to feelings. It's like a law of gravity for our inner world, and it only flows in that one direction.
So where does everybody go wrong? Well, we wake up feeling anxious or unmotivated, and what do? We try to attack the feeling. But that's like running to the very back of a train, grabbing the caboose and trying to steer the whole thing from there. It makes no sense. The engine is way up at the front. You're just wasting all your energy. Well, the key, the actual engine of that train, was figured out thousands of years ago. This isn't some new age life hack. This is the original source code for how human beings transform.
And the person who unlocked it wasn't some modern-day psychologist or a self-help guru. Nope. It was a man writing a letter to a small community in Rome, and he laid out the entire blueprint for change in one single, powerful sentence. And there it is, the Apostle Paul. He didn't say, be transformed by muscling through your actions or be transformed by getting your feelings under control. No, he went straight to the source, the engine, the very first link in the chain. He understood that real, deep, lasting transformation begins in the one place nobody else can see it, inside your own mind. Okay, so that sounds profound, but what does it actually look like in real life? In practice? Well, the difference it makes is literally like night and day. This one principle basically creates two completely different realities. So look at the left. That's the unrenewed mind. It starts with a thought, right? I'm just going to fail at this. So what's the natural action that follows? You procrastinate, you avoid it, and the feeling you end up with? Frustration, a sense of failure. It's a perfect, self-fulfilling prophecy. But look at the right. The renewed mind starts with a different thought. You know what? I can do this. That simple thought fuels a confident action, which creates a feeling of fulfillment, of peace. It's the same person, same challenge, but a totally different outcome, all because of where it started. Now, this is so important to get. This mind renewal thing, it's not like you flip a switch and you're done. It's a conscious, daily process. Think of it like a garden. Every single day you have to choose which thoughts you're going to water and which ones are weeds that you need to pull. And according to this source material, you're basically choosing between two different programs to run your mind every day. You've got the default settings, the world's program, which runs on fear, scarcity, and competition. But then there's this other program you can choose to install, which it calls God's program, and that one runs on faith, abundance, and love. So renewal is just consciously choosing which program gets to run the show each day. Okay, so this brings us to the best part. This isn't just some nice theory. It's something you can start doing, well, right now, in the next minute. Your transformation can actually begin today. So, the big question is, how do we do it? How do we find that very first domino, that root thought that's setting off the whole chain reaction? It's actually way simpler than you might think. Let's do a quick little diagnostic right now. First, just pick a negative feeling that's been bugging you. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's frustration. Got one? Okay. Now work backwards. What action are you taking that feeds into that feeling? Maybe it's scrolling on your phone or putting off a tough conversation. And now the last step. Go one level deeper. What's the thought
the belief behind that action, the thought that says I'm not good enough or this is totally hopeless.
If you just did that, seriously, congratulations, you just located the engine of your train. That thought you just uncovered, that is ground zero. That is the exact point where real, meaningful change actually becomes possible. Because at the end of the day, that's all it takes to begin. Not some huge mountain of willpower, not waiting for the perfect moment, just one different thought. A single conscious decision to replace that old, destructive thought with a new one. Your new life is, quite literally, one mental decision away. So you see, you are not a slave to your feelings. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You hold the key to the entire chain, the power to renew your mind, to transform your life. It is in your hands right this second. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with it?